Let's talk about vlogging. Vlogging is really at the heart of what has brought most of the top YouTube influencers their fame. Amy Landino, who literally wrote the book on vlogging, shares what it is and how businesses should think about vlogs.
Businesses should think about vlogging similarly to how they would think about video as a whole. What we're really looking at is video blogging. If you would put some sort of valuable content in a blog, you can do it in a video as well. So instead of deciding that vlogging is this little vertical of the world that you can't touch because of the prestige of your brand, think about it instead as how can we just present value? That's it. That's all we're doing. What would be interesting to our target audience that we can share with them in video form, and how can we present it to them in the state of where they are right now? What matters to them right now? That's the fundamentals of vlogging. That's just simply getting on someone's radar, maybe before they've made a purchase decision with you, maybe before they even know they need the solution that you have.
What does that mean? Does it mean that if you can put valuable content in a blog, you can do it in a video as well? That's it exactly. Simply put, it means that instead of writing out your own content, you're speaking your content. Put a speaker in front of the camera and have them talk just like I'm doing with you right now. Both B2B and B2C companies can use this style to reach their audience. In fact, much of the style of this entire lesson is in a vlogging style. It doesn't mean you can't add in visuals or animations, because you'll see that we've done that here in this lesson. What it means is that you should strive for a person-to-person audience connection and speak directly to your audience. The good news is that this doesn't have to cost a lot of money, and it doesn't necessarily need a lot of production time. You can certainly put resources towards creating extra polished video, but if you don't have those resources, you don't have to. You can rely on vlogging as a way to have a connection with your audience and to have fun, to be human, and to be authentic. Many businesses don't vlog because they're worried they won't do a great job, and video can seem super daunting. Amy Landino shared the 3 top fears businesses have when they're getting started on YouTube and are thinking about vlogging.
Some of the biggest fears that people have with video, the first is definitely gear, the fear of gear. Everyone assumes that they need to have some fancy set in order to get started at all, and that's actually totally unrelatable. Most of us are using a smartphone. Literally everyone who owns a smartphone is recording video with it and watching video on it. Most of us are carrying around this computer in our pocket. So for you to start creating content with a device like that is a great way to connect with the audience right off the bat. Another fear that a lot of people have is the fear of ROI. If you can't measure what you're gonna do, you sometimes won't get started. And I actually would argue that's a huge mistake with video. A lot of what we do in marketing and content marketing is build relationships. And so that's what you have to do. That's the first measure of ROI that you really have here. Conversions can happen, traffic can happen, lots of other things can happen, and we need to measure those too. Another really big fear that businesses have with video in general, but definitely with YouTube, is the fear of personality. And that's that you need to be born with some amazing personality, some extroverted existence in order to be great at video or to have the right person on video representing your brand. This is just not the case. I am as introverted as they come, and I am exerting all my energy every time that I'm on video, but it's because I know and I love what I do, and I can speak from a lot of experience, and that is where my energy comes from. So the personality side has to do with who you're talking to and making sure you're talking to that person, not blowing up into some personality that you think is what a video presence is. How would you talk to the person if they were right in front of you? That's all the personality you need.
If you plan on investing in any equipment, the first consideration should be a good microphone. Sound is one of the most important features of a video. If you don't have good sound, people tune out. Amy has a formula that she talks about in her book, Vlog Like a Boss, that she calls the authority video formula. Let's listen to her walk us through it.
So the most important piece is opening a video. If you're gonna keep attention, you've gotta have it right off the bat. And one of the first things I talk about is subject first. The subject of your video should be the first thing you see when you press play. That's usually a person, it might even be like a product or the result of a tutorial. Whatever it is, have it at the beginning of the video. You want to give the audience faith that they have clicked into this experience and they're gonna get what they asked for based on the title. Another thing I talk about is sort of contextual branding. You don't have to go into an elevator pitch. You should treat every viewer like they're loyal, but it'd be good to have maybe your logo on the t-shirt or a lower third with your name on it, so it doesn't get too weird, like who is this person and what is this company. You can have it built into the experience without disrupting the content. On average, you have 8 seconds on YouTube for somebody to decide whether or not they're gonna stay or leave. So with that being at stake, you can't spend a lot of time on elevator pitches and things that don't matter to them based on the title of the video. So get into the content quickly. You need to be really generous with the content, but you also want to stay focused. Whatever the title is, that's what it is. If you think it could be a 4-part series, let it be a 4-part series. Great, you have 4 pieces of content instead of 1. Better for you to win them over in the first 5 minutes of a 4-part series than to have a 20-minute, 25-minute video rambling on and they don't get through all of it. And you never get your call to action, which is probably gonna come closer to the end. Very key for ending a video is allocating the time for the close. A lot of us will just kind of throw in like, oh, I hope you liked this. Make sure you subscribe and come back and like the video. Be really focused and intentional about how much time you're gonna give that close at the end and what is the most relevant thing that somebody can do next based on the experience they just had with you. That should be your call to action. 1 or 2 things, maybe. Maybe it's download this PDF that's gonna give you something you can walk away with that we just talked about, and follow us on Instagram. It's up to you what those things are, but be intentional about it in a set period of time.
What's the story you're trying to tell? Now you have the formula, but it's still really important to keep in mind when developing a vlog that you need a clear narrative for your video. You also need to make the story relevant to your buyer. And in doing so, think about how you can tell the story in a way that satisfies one of 3 things that viewers usually want: to be entertained, to be informed, or to feel connected. Then, when it's all said and done, you need to consider engagement. How are you going to interact with those viewers?
Engagement is both an exciting and scary thing on YouTube, but we need it. Period. End of story. So likes and comments are important, but maybe you didn't even know dislikes are a positive thing. If you are invoking emotion on YouTube and somebody decides to leave a thumbs up or a thumbs down, there is engagement. There is activity on that video. That's a positive. Comments are gold. So always asking in your video for people to leave a response to what they think about what you talked about or what their preference would be, or just really any question that they could answer. Very important for improving the engagement of a video so that you're not hoping for just the views to take it somewhere or your subscriber number to mean anything. It's the engagement that really matters.
Definitely make sure you are engaging with your audience. Like their comments, respond to questions, and be present. Building loyalty is important to gaining more views for your content, and engaging with your audience is the best way to do that. I hope you'll consider vlogging as an option for your YouTube strategy. It's a great way to get your spokespeople in front of an audience, to create a specific identity for your brand, and to connect directly with your buyers.